Welcome to Grit and Grace, the place where grit shapes you, grace carries you, and friends walk beside you through it all. I'm Pam Rader, and along with my co-hosts Erin Payne and Brian Thiessen, we're here to laugh, cry, and tell the truth about what it means to be fully human. Think of us as your old friends. We share real stories, a little cowboy logic, and transformational tools. Because here's the thing, life's gonna kick your ass sometimes, but it'll also invite you to rise. And when you've got grit and grace and a few good friends, you will get through it all. So pull up a chair, grab your coffee, and buckle up. Welcome back to Grit and Grace. I'm your host, Pam Rader, here with my co-host, Erin Payne.
Good morning, everybody.
It's so great to be here with you today. Erin and I are continually diving into our own work so that we can show up and be of higher service to you, to our listeners, to our clients, to the world. Because I've learned one thing, no matter what's going on in my life, if I am being of service, my heart feels better.
Yeah.
And it's not coming from a place of I need to prove something. It's not coming from a place of I feel less than. It's just a noticing that I've had that when I am up to something bigger than myself, my life goes along a whole lot better. And so Erin and I are diving into all of these topics. And today we're going to talk about why you can't manifest. You know, maybe you have been trying to manifest more money or the love of your life, or you're trying to manifest more peace or a vacation or, I don't know, a purse. Whatever floats your boat.
Yeah, which is fair. If you want a nice purse, that's fair.
Totally. Maybe you're trying to manifest a BMW. I don't know. And I got judgment for that.
Nope.
But maybe you're manifesting or you're trying all the things. You're, journaling and doing all the affirmations and all of these
vision boarding,
and nothing happens. And if that's you, then this episode is for you. So there's something that happens when we launch, is if we look to Abraham Hicks's work. Now, Abraham Hicks is actually a woman named Esther Hicks who channels what is known as they're kind of a body of spirits, a body of collective wisdom, if you will, called Abraham. And this Abraham says that we experience contrast in life, aka what you don't want, so that we can determine what we do want. Because if we don't have the contrast, how would we ever know what we wanted? So if we don't have lack, how do we know that we want abundance? If we don't have love in our life, how do we know that we want love in our life? If we have friction, if we don't have friction, how do we know that we want peace? So contrast is necessary to launch what Abraham calls a rocket of desire. Now we get this desire and we go, okay, I'm watching YouTube videos on how to make a vision board. Have you ever made a vision board, Erin?
I have.
Me too. And you know what? I've manifested everything on my vision boards.
I know you have. I know. I remember you saying, I'm going to put on there my house.
Yeah.
Or it's the last thing that I have to manifest. And boom, you got it.
But it wasn't really just the board. That was part of it. But there's some missing pieces, and that's what we want to give people. But also what we don't realize is there is often a long lag between launching that rocket of desire and getting the thing. And we believe in that lag that we have to work harder, grind, prove, make it happen. And that's actually completely the opposite of what you need to do. So there's a book that just came out. It's called The Book of Possibility by Jim Curtis. He's a famous hypnotherapist, and he works with celebrities and athletes and all of that. And he's got a framework that goes release, align, and become. And it's actually the perfect map for what we want to talk about today, because it actually aligns with our core methodology. It aligns with the yoga teachings. It essentially makes us look real good, Erin.
Yeah, it really does. It's, that's what we've been doing.
Yeah. And we figured that out on our own. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Okay. So, Erin, we were talking a little bit about how when you want something really badly and you do all the right things for it and it still doesn't show up, we tend to make that lag mean something about ourselves, right? Can you think of like a time when you wanted something and there was a gap between wanting it and getting it and what you made it mean about yourself?
Well, I've always kind of had that real gap with money. And I've had a lot of contraindication programming around money. And so when money wouldn't come, I would make that mean that I am just poor. I would make it mean rich people are not good enough. I would make it mean I was never going to have money. I mean, I really ran the gambit with basically scarcity, that I was not worthy of money, which I think is what a lot of manifestation, when people try to manifest, it comes from, oh, I don't have this. Like, so there's something wrong, or I'm not good enough.
Right.
And then you definitely can't really manifest from that position.
So let's talk
And
about what that
yeah.
feels like in your body when you actually have these beliefs underlying, I'm trying to manifest money and I can't, so there must be something wrong with me. Or
Yeah,
I'm
it's like,
doing it wrong. What does that feel like in your body?
well, it's uneasy. It's uneasy because it's right, if you have it in your awareness, it's right in your face that you're not doing what you are supposed to be doing. And so it can feel like anxiety, can feel like doubt, fear, worry, and that just feels wherever that sits in your body. For some people, it's in the chest, some it's in the throat, some it's in the belly, some it's all over. Like, there's some people that have all over the body is just uneasy, tight tension. And sometimes it's hard to catch, right? Because we live with it daily.
Yeah. We are such adaptable creatures. We actually
Mhm.
normalize feeling like shit. We normalize
All the time.
feeling like this high level of anxiety, cortisol, adrenaline, all of that. Um, and it feels like sometimes like tightness in the body and urgency. And this is where I get, I'm like,
Yep.
oh my God, I'm behind. There's not
Mm.
enough time. And in doing that, we're actually shaming ourselves quite a bit. So there's
Mhm.
this rocket of desire that got launched. Then there's the thing that we want. Now, David Bayer's work says that desire plus non-resistance equals desired result. And so what I want to look at today is, what are we doing in the meantime? It's not about hustling and grinding, because that's actually resistance a lot of the time.
Yep.
You might get
Well,
the thing
whatever
you
the
want, but
pattern
you'll
is
still
there, right?
feel scarce. You'll still feel,
Mhm.
have you ever wanted something and then you get it and you still feel the same way afterwards?
Yeah, that's the glass ceiling that's always there.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
never
yeah.
quite enough. And again, I think
Yeah.
that comes from spiritually bypassing, using manifestation language, maybe, like, um, to not really look at the shadow work that really needs to be done there, which is the dark when you want the light.
We tend to chase the how. Here's my desire. How am I going to get it? Now, one of our teachers, Baron Baptiste, always says the answer to how is yes. And I'm
Mm.
starting to get that more than ever now. It
Mhm.
doesn't freaking matter how. If you're a full yes for it, it's inevitable that that thing will happen. And chasing the how is actually kind of a form of resistance or control that blocks the thing. It's sort of, and then when it doesn't show up, we're scanning reality for evidence that it's not working, which reinforces, and here's the key, your old identity. And if you want to know what's in the way of you getting, manifesting, if you will, your desires, it's your old identity. Because if your old identity could hold, contain, knew how to have the thing that you want, you'd already have it.
Mm.
In my businesses, there have been multiple times when I wanted to grow or scale or change something within the business and achieve a new level of success. And I can think about one of the first things I wanted to do was to create a 200-hour yoga teacher training. And I've talked about this on the podcast before. I had $52,000 in debt because I had put my son through rehab with money I didn't have, and had been accumulating consumer debt on top of that because of the deficit. It just rolled like that. And I thought, I'm never getting out of this working by the hour. And I wanted to run a teacher training to create something in the yoga studio and in the world, and to bring something forth that was meaningful and good. And I hadn't really connected the dots so much financially, but I knew it would also help with that. So I went about writing the teacher training and writing this 200 hours of curriculum and from my heart and doing the work. I became someone new, and I felt so passionate about sharing this with the world. And I knew that I was the perfect person to share it with the world. And when I released it, it sold out in 2 weeks. And guess how much money I made? $52,000. Exactly.
Amazing.
But you know what? I let go of the need to get the $52,000. And I had taught myself something in there. I didn't realize it until I looked back later. I was just busy becoming the next version of myself. I was just busy becoming. So I had to release the attachment to the desire. I had to get aligned with what I really wanted, which was to serve other people in a powerful way. And then I had to become the person who was doing that. And only then did what I wanted show up.
Yeah. That's amazing.
So I didn't know what I was doing back then. I was an unconscious competent. But I can look back on every time that something like that has happened in my life. That has been the process. I have released, got aligned with what matters to me, and then went about the business of becoming the version of myself that could hold that thing. Now, do you have an example of maybe something like that showing up in your life, or are you still working on that area?
My biggest one that I'm can talk about is happening right now. And there's still like some resistance. There's still like, oh God, I shouldn't talk about it because then it won't happen. It's
Right.
like, yeah, I've feel like I've manifested little things. Like I manifested the shit out of the Bob Proctor program
Yeah.
that I wanted to take, right? And it
Yep.
just like came, and I released it and I aligned. So what I did was I started taking like a smaller version of it. So every morning I would wake up and I would do just a couple of the things. I can't remember what it was called. It was like 6 minutes to success or something. And I would do that every morning, and it wasn't the full program, but it was what I could do at the time, because that program was $9,000 or something.
Yeah.
And then for Christmas, my partner gave it to me
Yeah.
for Christmas.
Yeah.
So he had been working with the coach beforehand and gave it to me. And I think it was like you said, I was aligning
Yeah. And
with
becoming.
who the
You
person who
want
could
it,
hold that.
but you let go of it and did
Yep,
what you could do.
I
And you were
did.
just becoming something different, and then it showed up for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's one that I
And
can really
yeah.
remember.
Another example of this that I can think about is in my current relationship. I wrote down we talked about this way back when, but when I was first single, I started writing down what I wanted in a man. And then I was like, this is the wrong thing to want. I don't want to want qualities in a man. That seems like outsourcing my happiness.
Mm.
And so instead I wrote down, who do I want to become within a relationship? So I get a stubborn, obstinate, wrote all the things down. I wouldn't have asked for a lot of the things. Somebody who's also healing. And it has caused me to become a version of myself that I just like so much better
Mhm.
than had I got all those things that I would have I wanted in another person. So as I'm becoming, I trust that there are desires that I launched a long time ago that are coming true as a result of the becoming.
Mm. Yeah, the wave takes a little while.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So one of the things that I think we have to think about is, just because you don't, we live in an Amazon society. You order something and it shows up 24 hours later, sometimes the
Mhm.
same day, and we are so impatient and we want everything now. But we need to trust that in launching the desire, in identifying it, really feeling that we want that thing, that's enough. It's out there in the quantum field, if you want to call it that, in the God space, if you want to call it that, in the universe, whatever. It's interesting because neuroscience and spirituality are really the same thing now that they're proving, the quantum field and quantum physics. If you don't believe in God, you can call it this invisible field that they know is there. You can't see it, but you have to, it's like, okay, same thing. But neuroscience is about expanding and healing and understanding the mind, and spirituality is about understanding and healing the heart. And when we have brain-heart coherence, our lives get better. So they're, the same thing. Anyways, when we put it out there in the universe, in whatever you want to call it, the desire is enough. Having the desire is enough. And then you have to let it go and go about simply becoming the version of yourself that can hold it. So what does that actually mean? It's actually a gift that there's a lag, because you see people who win the lottery, and this is like the age-old story. They win the lottery and they go hog wild for a year or two, and then they're broke again.
They can't hold it.
Yeah, they don't have the container that can hold it. They don't have the capacity to have been expanded so massively all at once. And so that, therefore, be careful what you wish for. We have to trust that the universe is loving and generous and perfect, and everything, you are right on time, and everything comes in the right time. Did you ever think you wanted something so badly, and then you didn't get it, and you look back and think, thank God?
Well, I'm sure. I just can't think of anything right now. How about you? Do you have a story for us for that?
What comes to mind is when I was a teenager, I really liked this boy, and he was really great. And I'll say his name because my best friend Jill listens to this program, and she's gonna laugh when I say this because I don't know if I ever told her this, but so I like this boy. His name is Darren Sims in school, and I think I was like 14 or something, and I remember having such a crush on him, and I thought he had a crush on me, and I went to him and I said, I really like you. And he was very kind. He was a really nice boy. And he said, I really like you too, but more as a friend. But I have to be honest with you. I really like Jill. And it crushed my heart because
Yeah.
I was like, oh. And then I was so embarrassed and all of that.
Yeah.
And I look back and I wound up with this. I ended up dating this really terrible guy after that, and it was like not great. But here's the thing. Everything that has happened, I trust in my life, has been the perfect thing to lead me to this moment. And had I had a nice, wonderful first boyfriend, that would have been different. And that became an important relationship in Jill's trajectory in her life. And Jill and I are connected in deep ways. We've been friends for 40 something years. And I look back and think the universe knows what it's doing. So I have to trust that it's not the thing that I want, it's the person that I need to become. That the desire that is put into my mind is leading me towards. So I might not get the exact thing that I think that I want, but I'm going to get to become the person that could hold that.
And doesn't that create safety? So once we've gone through that enough times, because I know that I've gone through that as well, many times. And now when I'm going through the heavy or going through the dark night of the soul or whatever you want to call it, I can have a sense of ease just a little bit because it's like, okay, the universe is putting me through the kiln, the fire here. And I can trust that I will become the person that I need to become, that the universe wants me to become, or that my trajectory is taking me to. And we can have a little bit of safety in those moments when it feels like the world is just like the floor is lava, as my kids would say.
Floor
It's
is
gonna eat me
lava.
up.
That's funny.
Like something's gonna kill me here.
Yeah.
And it's no, it's just I'm trusting this process.
Yeah. Yoga has taught us both this. Do you remember going to, so I went to The very first Baptiste yoga thing that I ever went to was in 2010. Now, I'd been teaching yoga for quite a while by then. I'd wanted to train with Baron forever. And, I could do all the basic poses, but didn't really have a real teacher up until that point. And I walk into the Coast Cole Harbor Hotel in Vancouver. There must have been 200 people in there. It's this giant production, big posters and music. And I see these people doing like arm balances and handstands and these crazy poses. And I could never do that. Holy. But it also sparked this desire. I was like, I want to do that, but I don't think I can. It's 2026. So what's that? 16 years later, I can do all those things if I want to. Couldn't care less about them now. But none of them came from force. None of them came from me just wanting it and desiring it. I just showed up and I kept going to yoga, and then I'd get more curious. And then I would get a little bit stronger, and I became the person that could tip up into a crow pose and a little arm balance. And I became the person who could, I could stand on my hands one day. Like, whoa, when did that happen? And it wasn't about the pose. I was becoming the person through yoga, through doubting my doubts, through challenging my narratives, through emotional regulation, through making peace with my body. I was becoming the person who could then hold one of those poses. And I think that's a really good metaphor for life. We just have to keep showing up on that. Keep looking at ourselves. So you and I do a lot of what is known as shadow work, right?
Yep.
And that is really all the strategies we had to develop to survive. People pleasing, hyperachievement, hypervigilance, attachment wounds, all of these things that we did to survive that if left unconscious would keep running our lives. And so we take a look at them, we pull them apart, we observe the patterns. And then we move on to restore self-trust. But we talk a lot about you have to create safety first. This is our core methodology. And I believe that we have been missing a step. And this was Jim Curtis's book reminded me of this. Because I used to also teach a Hawaiian prayer called Hooponopono to my students. And maybe you remember us doing that in yoga teacher trainings.
Yeah.
And the premise of the prayer is that if we see something wrong in the world, that same thing should be healed within ourselves. And it goes, I forgive you. I'm sorry. Thank you. I love you. And it's said over and over again. Now, how can we manifest or become the person that can hold the thing that we want if we still believe we're not worthy? Well, what if the key was you have to forgive yourself for thinking you're not worthy? It's not about, I'm going to feel worthy. It's like, I need to forgive myself for ever saying that I wasn't worthy. I forgive you. I'm sorry. No, it's not I forgive you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. And to identify all of the negative or shadow beliefs that we have and to spend some time, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. It really doesn't matter which order you say them in, but those 4 phrases are key. And that is what needs to happen in the leg between launching your desire and it actually showing up, is that you have to forgive yourself. How does that resonate for you, Erin?
So the idea that we have all this resistance that shows up and we look at it and process it out, or all of the language that we've talked about, it's relatively new for me. So rather than pushing through to get what I want, it's a matter of surrendering, stepping back, releasing, just like we said. And that made so much sense to me when I first learned about it. I was talking with one of my good friends, just kind of a spiritual mentor. I said to her, when I think about building multiple clients and a one-on-one, I still have fear. Like what? Like, or I have this little nagging feeling in my body. Like for me, it's all about the body, right? I have this feeling in my body that it just is like, it's like a little bit of a pit in my stomach and a heaviness in my chest. Like, what is that? And she said, that's your fear. That's your fear. Understanding that I need to like work on that and process that was the idea, this new idea for me. And so I have been doing that. And when you said to me this morning, the piece that's missing is forgiveness,
Mhm.
I was just like, that is it.
Well, as
That is
long
the
as
alignment.
as long as
That's
we're
the
withholding
alignment.
forgiveness from ourselves, we are not a safe space. So when we go back to our core methodology, you're not safe to truly observe your patterns or restore self-trust. Because if you can't forgive yourself, how can you trust yourself?
Mhm.
If you got someone in your life that you can't forgive, you don't trust them. So
No,
it has to
exactly.
start with you. And then what happens, I know that when I start to forgive myself, I'm so much more compassionate and able to forgive others, and my whole life opens up.
Mhm.
And then I start feeling more grateful and grounded. And those things also help me to attract, to draw in those things that I desire.
Well, and I have to admit that forgiveness hasn't been easy for me. Like,
Mhm.
I haven't known how to do it. I should forgive this person, I should forgive myself, and even a higher level, like, there is no one to forgive because we're all sent here to, walk each other home, right? So there is no one to forgive, and I have struggled, like, I can't just make myself forgive.
Well, here's something else I want to say. I think when we forgive for the sake of it, sometimes it's performative.
Yes.
You can only forgive when you're ready to forgive. It doesn't matter if it's you or someone else. Like, you have to be
Mhm.
good and ready. And I think that we have to, if you try, like I say, if someone's done something terrible to you and you're just still holding on to hurt and resentment, yeah, it might still be hurting you. And you still have to be ready. You have to be sick and tired of it hurting you
Yes.
and not willing
Eh
to give it that space anymore and to
Mhm.
forfeit the right to make those judgments again because they're hurting you.
Mhm.
And so we're not talking about performative forgiveness here because we do there is real hurt that happens and there is real doubt that happens within us. But I think to stand and look at yourself in the mirror and look yourself in the eye and say, "I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you." And really think about like, please forgive me for scrutinizing your body
Mhm.
every day. Please forgive me for doubting that you are a child of the universe and capable of anything.
Mhm.
Please forgive me for believing I needed to perform to win love. Please forgive me for the way that I've treated other people to feel powerful.
Yeah. Oh, I was just gonna say, please forgive me for making this someone else's fault all the time.
Yeah, and please forgive me for shaming myself when I figured out I was doing that.
Mhm. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if we start and this is the whole thing, you and I talk about restoring self-trust and giving up outsourcing your happiness. And this, I think, Erin, is a key component. And it's funny to me because, as I said, I used to teach this. I'm very aware of it. And I hadn't put this piece into this place until just now. It's
Mhm.
the lag between the desire and the showing up of the desire. I knew that there was a leg. I knew that that was necessary. I knew that there was an identity shift. But to put Ho'oponopono in there, that's the everything.
It's
And it
such
will
a great
spark
tool.
so many other things that help you become the version of yourself that will get the desire.
That's such a great tool too, and if you can catch it and you're in the moment and you're like, "Oh, there's that fear, there's that avoiding, there's that making someone else wrong for my life," or there's that like, for me, it's just right now, it's just fear. Just pure fear. And in that moment, imagine how powerful that would be. Like, oh, I have a somatic feeling right now. Boom. I'm sorry. Please forgive
Well,
me.
what's interesting to me is I was listening to an interview that Jim Curtis did, and again, he's a hypnotherapist who's works with celebrities and multi-millionaires and billionaires and all of that. And he was saying, doesn't matter how much money they have, they all have fear. They're afraid they're not enough. They're comparing themselves to the people around them. Like their worries, so they might not have financial worries, but they're worrying about the same things that you and I are worrying about. And he actually said, he was asked the question, who would you think would be happier? Somebody who has, who's a millionaire or somebody who makes less than $50,000 a year? And he said the person who makes less than $50,000 a year, because they're both worried about the same things. The other people just have bigger problems. Like, so,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I and as he said that, I was thinking, yeah. So, do we want to desire $1 million? Let's just like a silly, arbitrary number, or do we want to desire to become the person that could hold that beautifully and responsibly and peacefully?
There's so much more depth there. I love that.
Yeah. And do we want the love of our lives, or do we want to become the person who can be um, a responsible, loving, kind, generous partner?
Mhm.
Like that's important to me too.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, and in our world, and let's talk about. So we've talked about money a little bit and scarcity, but let's talk about a lot of people want love in their lives, and they do this work, this very work that you and I do. And then they use the language. We talked about this on one of our episodes where people just use therapy language to avoid actually being emotionally responsible.
Mhm.
They can they can identify their shadow, they can point to their attachment wounds, they can, talk about their triggers and yet still emotionally manipulate people. We talked about this. I realized that I could manipulate with my moods. I could get in a little bit of a pout. And I realized I had done that to get something, to get a response from my partner. That's so emotionally immature, it's ridiculous.
Oh my gosh, my 4-year-old does it.
Right? Yeah, it's gross. And when
And
I
when you
saw
brought
it,
that up to me, that's what I thought. Sorry to
yeah.
interrupt you. That's what I
Oh,
thought. I was like, "Oh my god, I do that too, and my 4-year-old does that." And I do that to my kids. I was doing that to my kids,
yeah.
for sure. In a
And
mood, and
so
then I
then
expect
here's
them to
the
do
thing, then
something about it.
we feel shame about it, right? We're like, "Oh god, I don't
Yes.
wanna do it. Ick." And then it's gotta be, "I forgive you for judging that, and I forgive you for doing that."
Mhm. No wonder.
Yeah, yeah.
We're just all out here trying to friggin' make a go at
But
this
again, if we're just
this
looking
world.
at, I wanna have love in my life, and it's not showing up, are you actually becoming the version of yourself who can receive and give that kind of love in your life?
Yeah, and I mean, you're who we I wanna be really careful with who am I attracting in because that's also shaming, for sure,
Yeah, yeah.
but you will keep learning those lessons. You will keep learning them. You will keep learning them if you don't, and I love that the answers as I get further along in this journey, like with you and growing my business now, the answers are becoming they're less like, "Oh, I have to do something huge and magnanimous," and more like, "No, what is this? What is it about my spiritual health that is important in this moment to move forward?" It's all energy and, it's like the God in us, right? The creator in us.
Yeah.
And it's like, "Oh, these answers make more sense to me." It's like coming home, right?
Yep.
The answer is forgiveness. Oh, that makes sense. It's one of the hardest things to do for me in a while, like a long time ago. It feels easier now, to be honest. Feels like I could be easier to forgive now. Do you know what I mean?
100
Do you know?
I do. I actually feel like I'm ready. Like I said
Yeah.
the words before and I taught it before and I understood the concept before. I'm a pretty smart chick and I can put shit together from every discipline
Real easy.
real easy. And I can make those connections. It's like I have a whiteboard constantly out with all the strings, like in a CSI room or something. And I can see very quickly and make those connections, which is also just a survival mechanism. Like, be smart so no one thinks you're not capable. And just coming back to this, touching back and having this brought back into my awareness tells me another thing. It is the perfect time. So I was sharing this with you. I was sitting on the couch with my partner yesterday morning, and we meditate in the morning and we have coffee and we unpack things, and it's so sweet. I love that. I'm like, how did I get so lucky to have,
Yeah,
this is
that's
everything I
amazing.
dreamed of in my life, to be able to sit there and talk about spiritual shit with my partner and about growth and like who we're becoming and things in the future. And anyways, he's got his eyes closed and he's just sitting, and we have some high hertz music playing in the background. And I said, what are you doing? He goes, Hooponopono. And I was like, you know about that? And he's like, yeah, you gotta do it. I was like, I know. And it was so strange. And then I came across Jim Curtis's new book, and I'm like, flipping through it, and I'm like, holy cow. And I know this. I've read Zero Limits. I know about this.
Yeah, you do know this. Yeah.
And then it just dropped in for me that this is, and we had talked about, let's talk about the lag between the desire and it showing up. And we knew that there was resistance in there, and we were going to talk about it in terms of identity and becoming. And it suddenly came to me, the universe gifted this to me right at the exact right moment to bring it back into my awareness when I can deeply, not even understand it, but just integrate it because I know the truth of it.
Embody.
And the greatest way I know to do that is to share it. I don't even have to have put it fully into practice yet. I know I can share it, and that holds me accountable. It can help you get started on it if you're listening to this. But, one of the places where we all can start the process of going from what we desire to receiving that desire is to look inward at all the places that you have shame, or you judge yourself, or you have judged yourself or criticized yourself. And it might be things like, I'm too far behind, I'm too old, I don't like the way I look, I don't like the way I spoke, I don't like, any version of that. Stand there and look at yourself in the mirror. Stand there naked and look at yourself in the mirror and really look at the human being that you are and say those phrases over and over again, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. I'm sorry for putting my body through contortions to be a certain size.
Yeah.
Can you forgive me? I love you. Thank you. I'm sorry for all the times that I said I wasn't pretty enough, smart enough, good enough, deserving enough. Can you forgive me? Thank you. I love you. It shifts something on a cellular level. And then they've also, they're studying frequency, and science is studying frequency now. And again, this is another place where sort of heart and brain line up. The brain has a frequency, an electromagnetic frequency, so does the heart. And when we breathe into the heart, we get brain-heart coherence. The electromagnetic frequency syncs up. When we speak words, there is a frequency, a vibration. And those 4 phrases, there's something about the frequency of them that changes your wiring.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I think it's really powerful. And I hope that our listeners will take something away from this, that, you can make your vision board. Sure, you can say affirmations. And if you're going to have any affirmations, you don't want to do the Stuart Smalley from, remember Stuart Smalley from Saturday Night Live? I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.
People like me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but how about, Jim Curtis suggested this, and I used to do this too, and I forgot about it. I'm divinely guided and perfectly on time.
Yeah.
I'm divinely guided. It's release. It's let go and let God. It's just releasing, there's nothing I need to do. There's nothing I need to, my work is just right here, making peace with me. And as I make peace with me, then there's peace in my heart and there's peace on the planet.
And that's real. That is real.
What are you working on manifesting in your life?
Oh, my dream has always been to become a successful female entrepreneur. And trust me, I've looked at, okay, why do I want to be that? But that is a deep desire of mine. And that's what I'm working on right now. And the more that I just allow myself to be that, the more momentum I make, the more I make moves daily that move towards it. I'm not saying like we need to do something in order to become something, but we can't just like not follow the steps towards what we want if that's what we want, right? And so I make moves daily to become that, and they're easy and they make me feel happy and they make me feel all of the things that I want to feel. And so I'm just trusting that right now because I'm right in the middle of a line. That's where I am. I'm aligning
Release,
to be,
align, become. Yeah.
yeah, I'm aligning to become the woman who can hold, success, making money, to support myself and my children. That's to me what success looks like with coaching, with this job. So I'm right in the middle of a line, and so for me, the forgiveness piece is in perfect timing. Perfect timing. How about you?
Yeah.
What are you currently up to on this planet? Let's hear.
Well, as you're saying that, I'm thinking there was many things that came to mind, and yes, what I want to say about what you said before I share what I'm up to is, as I launch a desire, I actually do it simultaneously with kind of revealing the shadow with it in terms of why do I want that thing? And you said you examined why do I want this. Now, if we really examine why do I want something, so let's just use this simple example. I want to graduate from high school so that I can go to a good college, so that I can get a good job, so that I can have a nice car and a nice house, so that I feel secure, and so that I can prove to my dad that I'm not a loser.
Mhm.
And then is that really what you want?
Yeah, totally.
And could you just start by forgiving yourself for ever thinking that you're a loser in the first place?
Mhm.
And then follow your heart to wherever it leads you?
Wherever it
So
leads.
when you said getting to why I really want that, I think it's really important that we add, I want this thing so that I can feel what? And when we get to the thing that we're feeling, it's like, why am I not feeling it now? What's in the way of me feeling it now? Where is there a lack of forgiveness or judgment for myself right now? And in that moment, we can release it. And then and only then can the thing that we want come.
Man.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so for me, I'm in the process of manifesting and creating. It's happening. I'm getting out of my way more and more, and it's already happened in terms of my Become the Catalyst. It was set up in a way that it was so time intensive for me. This coaching certification program that I developed, it was so beautiful and it's so good, and the work is so
Yes, it is.
powerful.
Mhm.
And it was between running teacher trainings and running Become the Catalyst, I taught full immersive weekends every second weekend for over 10 years. So I was not available for most weekends of my life,
Mhm.
my family, to my friends. And then I'm working at the yoga studio. I'm working on coaching. I'm doing leadership development during the week. So I became a workaholic essentially. And I finally decided that, oh, I want to have it all. I want to have this program in existence that helps so many people, and it does even better work. It's more immersive, it's more impactful, it's more generative in terms of creativity in people, and I want my time back. And so I recreated it and made it so that for me to run that program, I'm only working about 2 hours a week for that program. But our clients are getting way more out of it than they got
Yeah.
even when I was fully doing these full immersion weekends. And so that's happened. We've run the first iteration. The next iteration comes up this fall. And the results are in. It's an extraordinary program. And I'm not just saying that. You and I
It
both know
is.
it's
Yep.
unbelievable, the results. Like people's lives are
Yep.
transformed forever, how they show up in
Yes.
relationships, how they show up at work, what they're producing in the world, their ability to help others. They would pay double for it and still think they got more than their money's worth.
100%. I can attest to that
Yeah.
personally.
And so what am I trying to create with that? 3 or 4 full cohorts a year that just the enrollment just happened. And so I have recurring revenue coming in that I can finally relax a little bit in my life. I can prove to my psyche I don't need to be a workaholic to do that. I've been successful. And now I'm in the process of I can do it without killing myself.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm manifesting is equanimity, balance. Balanced action in yoga, we say sthira sukha, effort and ease. So the efforts there, the containers there, the structures there. And now I'm manifesting the ease, and I'm in the process right now of becoming the person that can be easeful, because my nervous system has been wired up for so long to work like a dog, to earn money, to prove my worth, that it's actually uncomfortable for me to sit still and do nothing. And then if I get any proof at all, like, ooh, there's a dip in revenue, then I'm like, oh, I should work hard. And so I
Gotta go do
know
something.
I have to become the person that can actually work 2 hours a week if I want to.
Yeah, which can be a real mind thing
Yeah.
when we've been taught we have to hustle our asses off.
Yeah.
Yep.
But to hustle and grind, it's one way you'll get some things, but you're not going to be any more peaceful.
No.
So that's what I'm up to. And through this program and actually through what we're doing here, like sharing things with the world, manifesting um that our message and the methodology that we teach here in Grit and Grace, that it has um, resonance, that it has impact, that it actually ripples out into the world in a meaningful way to help other people. Because again, when I feel like I'm in service up to something bigger than myself, that feels fulfilling to me. So yeah, that's what I'm in the process of, becoming the woman who can receive ease, who can fully love and be loved, who doesn't fear the future, who's fully in walking in faith. Yeah, that's what I'm
Self-trust.
manifesting.
Trust myself enough that even what I'm doing, even though it scares the shit out of me, I trust myself enough that I'm gonna move through that with
Yeah,
ease, with ease and
100%.
grace.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
So if anyone listening is interested in going further with this work, you can work one-on-one with Erin and I by clicking the links below the show notes. You can book a discovery call for free to see if it's a good fit for you. If you're interested in actually being able to transform every area of your life, your relationships, your work, your career, maybe even shift careers and become a coach yourself, sharing this impactful work with the world. Our next cohort of Become the Catalyst comes up in October 20th, 2026, and you're invited. We would love to have you, and we would love to walk alongside of you on this journey, because the other thing that happens is each time I lead this program and Erin's on the leadership team, she's co-leading this program, we change too. And if we don't transform, then it's not working. So we change alongside of you, and it's an absolute privilege to get to walk people towards more freedom.
And isn't that what you would want, right? Just to be together, walking each other home. I mean, that's what we're here for, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
beautiful. So if you're interested in Hooponopono, I would suggest reading Zero Limits by Dr. Joe Vitale.
Fascinating.
Fascinating book. It's the story of Dr. Hugh Len, who made Hooponopono kind of mainstream, if you will. It's such a good read. I also recommend Jim Curtis's Book of Possibility. It's all the things we talk about, but if you want proof that you're on the right track, look for the good teachers out there, and they're from different areas of the world, hypnotherapists, personal development guides, this and that. There's universal truth that'll say, like, reiterate that you're on the right path.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want more of this, keep listening, subscribe to the channel because it helps us, and please leave us a review because that also helps the show. So thank you for listening. We look
Everybody.
forward to bringing whatever's on our mind next to y'all.
Yeah. Can't
Bye,
wait.
everyone.